In a previous post, we responded to a question from a user who wanted to have symbols with a more pastel-like appearance, and we suggested that one way to do it would be, for the sake of argument, to draw a circle. That's a single entity, and the circle had a color 54. But then we popped down after we had said this symbol is going to be filled and it does have a border, and we picked the border color. We then dropped into the gradient filled box, which by default sits at none. And so what we see is simply the color of the circle 54. But if we select it again and just drop in and pick a point, we get a relatively nice, softer looking symbol, and the outside area is pale. We can even fiddle with it, and we could make it softer, I guess, by saying the gradient length is only 25, and that will bring the dot in there like so. So you can experiment here, but I hasten to add that's just one symbol doing the job. But another approach would be to visit our website and download a set of circular symbols. And I want to bring those in now to illustrate how that's done and how you might use them. So here I am at the GCAD Plus website, and if you go to downloads, add extra symbols, we can download this transparent circular symbols, and what that gives us access to is a page such as this. So you could do a design rather like the one you see in front of you here using this palette of symbols. And here's the palette of symbols, and you can click on the link and download a copy, and that'll appear in your downloads file as palette of symbols number 2. So I've done that. So let's come back to GCAD Plus and see how you might use that palette. Here we are in the GCAD Plus environment, and what we're suggesting is you should be able to bring in that whole group by using the blocks option and say add from another location, pick that palette of symbols. I've got a couple of choices here. I can say select all, but if I just click model space, that'll allow me to insert into this drawing the palette of symbols. At the moment it's one block, but I can select it and explode the block. When I've done that, it's a good idea just to pick save. Now if we concentrate here, we are suggesting there will be an existing Japanese box hedge. Maybe there's a tiny bit there, and it will be extended. So can we find one of these symbols which might give us the general feel for the box hedge? So we'll pick that one, and maybe this one, and maybe that, and we'll copy those across here. And now what we might do then is scale these. I think probably reduce the size by 50%. We should be able to do that in base point. In the middle we'll do 0.5, should scale both of them at the same time. So we like to have a sort of random look about them. So we could even copy those now and just pop them in here, and another group there, come across here and then down, overlap them a little like so, and there. And I hope you would agree that's quite a quick way of getting these symbols in with some sort of pastel-like colouring. You could argue, of course, that you want these to line up like a proper hedge, and for that we could grab all of them, and then we could use modify and align objects. Select the objects like so, and we'll add that one. Hit enter, and we can do various sorts of justification, but we want horizontally aligned, so we'd pick bottom and pick bottom, and there we are. And we can just move those down, although that wasn't too bad. And maybe we can do just a tiny bit more editing and move those across. So I hope you see that what we're trying to see, we're getting some sort of feel for what our user is after, a much softer looking, and I'll erase those. He was after symbols with a much softer look, and we could copy those to there, and then maybe lift that one, copy it in there, and then a lighter one, copy from that point to there. So I'm relatively happy that we could work in that way. We'd probably eliminate these in there. We want to bring in some other symbols. Notice this is a crepe myrtle in this area here with Westringia underplanting. So you might look for sort of a pinkish group like so, with some underplanting. So you might take this one and copy it, and it's going to sit in here. There's some uplighting and another one uplit. We could probably scale that one and scale this one. And then we need some underplanting for something that looks like a Westringia, which is a grey box. So you might pick maybe this one and copy it, and it'll pop in and around and under that area through there. Now we can adjust things slightly. We want these two to be at the top, the front, and we also want the pergola. I'd be inclined to make that pergola as a block, so it would be easier to manipulate. I could do it on the fly by right-clicking and saying create block, but just for the moment we'll hit escape, and again tools and bring to the front. So can you see now that extra symbol? We're certainly getting a pastel-like appearance to some of these symbols, and they're fairly quick and easy to work with. So I hope that adds to our discussion about how do you get sort of softness in symbols. These are not elaborate symbols, they're just simple, and the file size here will be really quite small, and your computer will work speedily with a design such as this. So I trust we've added just a little to answering that query.